Hey guys, so I want to do a video about something that has been on my mind a lot recently, and there are many facets to this issue. I probably won't be able to do it justice in 10 minutes, but I will do my best. And it's sort of the topic of fitness and sort of letting it become your entire identity, basically letting it become your entire life. Your entire life revolving around fitness. And by the way, just so we are clear, I'm not talking about fitness models necessarily. I'm not talking about bodybuilders. I'm talking about quote unquote regular people who, perhaps have had some sort of life issues, and then sort of found a refuge in the gym. And before anyone says that, I don't know what I'm talking about, like I was in the same spot years ago, like in 2011. My first girlfriend dumped me late 2010, something like that, and I was sort of frustrated, and I remember having these thoughts in my mind that perhaps she dumped me because I was fat. And I remember making myself a promise that I will never ever ever have this doubt in my mind, and I will lose weight, so that never ever happens, or at least the possibility of it happening doesn't occur to me, and I did just that. So I know what that feels like. I know how that is. I know how life changing, how life altering can be. That whole experience when start lifting, and you start embracing the fitness journey, the fitness lifestyle, and you start looking different. People start appreciating it. People start complimenting you, all that stuff. That's awesome. But I see many issues with it. So there are many. One of which is people developing this whole superiority complex, and I've seen this many times. It even happens to me right now, believe it or not. Like, I have people who have started lifting maybe 2 years ago, and they might look at my choices, like I might eat or drink something, and they look at me like condescending, like, oh, so you eat that, you drink that, oh, implying that they don't drink or eat that, and they are somehow superior. And this becomes even more evident with when comparing themselves to regular people. Like, they just sort of consider themselves better, morally superior to others, because they live a fit lifestyle and perhaps they have abs or whatever. And obviously that's not good, because you're not better than anyone because you look a certain way, or because you have six-pack or you don't. You just don't. It's not. It doesn't work like that. So that's one issue. The other issue is when these people find their refuge in the gym, they start going quote unquote all in. And these are the people you will see who basically use the gym as therapy. So now, of course, this can be a good thing, but it also can be destructive. Like, it doesn't apply necessarily to the gym. I've heard stories of fighters going to the boxing gym and training MMA or that kind of stuff, whatever it is, and finding refuge in that sense. I use the gym that way. I still use it somewhat, or my workouts. Not necessarily the gym, because obviously I work there, so it's a bit harder to find a refuge there. But the people I think about are those who start lifting, and then you see them 7 days a week, 2 hours per day, just grinding it out, just workout after workout, just weights, then cardio, then this and that. And they either use this to punish themselves, which of course is also not good, or simply they use this as an escape or refuge from their lives. Basically, they use the gym to run away from their problems, which is problematic from a psychological point of view. It's problematic because it's not conducive to best results, but that's a whole separate discussion. I'm mostly referring to the psychological issues here. So that can lead to burnouts, and I can tell you many people. I can remember like 5 or 6 guys who did this. Like, now listen, haven't been training that long. I've been training for like 8 years almost. I still think that's a decent time, and I've seen many people do that who, they just went all in and started competing and this and that, and then 6 months later they don't even lift, and they completely burn themselves out mentally. Don't even want to see a sight of a gym anymore, and that's sad. And there are the bigger issues, because I think that's, relatively speaking, still less impactful, because you can still find other ways of enjoying physical activity. I'm looking at my notes, by the way, but the biggest issue is when you let it become your entire identity, especially if you start taking steroids or performance enhancing drugs. So you become so entrenched into this that you start wanting to look like an action figure or that kind of stuff. I'm mostly talking about guys here, but same goes for women. Women who start taking anabolics is even worse, because that has arguably even worse impacts on their health and reproductive function and all that. So it's even more serious there. So that's a very, very big issue. If you let the bodybuilder complex get to your head, these are the people who develop, it's actually a medical term in this, what's the term? I forget it right now. It doesn't come to me, but there's a term basically for body dysmorphia. There you go. So you see, develop body dysmorphia. So they see themselves as small and weak, even though they are very, very big by normal human standards. And then what can happen is perhaps they have some sort of issue. Maybe they have an accident, maybe they have a disease, maybe they have financial issues and they cannot take their steroids anymore. Any of those things can happen. Any of those things will most likely happen to you. We will all have layoffs. We will all have breaks from the gym. And then if you've let the gym and your physical appearance become your entire identity, if you identify yourself with the way you look, if your self-image is all about having this physique, if you are the six-pack guy, or you're the nice butt girl, or whatever it is, the flat stomach girl, call it what you want, to get the idea. What happens if you start, you become sick and you have to take care of someone? Your grandmother becomes sick and you don't have the time to go to the gym anymore. Any of these things can happen, and you start losing muscle, and it can really snowball into something very big. Now, I don't want to play the doctor, I want to play the psychologist. It's just something that I noticed, something that I think about a lot, because I still have my own issues, which I won't have the time to go into, but perhaps I will at some other time if you're interested. It's just something to pay attention to. Like, fitness is awesome. Like, of course, having a healthy lifestyle is awesome. Letting the gym become a part of your life is awesome, but it shouldn't be your entire life. Your entire identity shouldn't be the way you look or the weights you lift or that kind of stuff, because, like I said, that's very temporary. I mean, worst case scenario, aging is going to get you, best case scenario, aging is going to get you, but worst case, something else can happen, probably will happen. And if you have no escape route, that's where you see people falling into depression, resorting to alcohol, resorting to drugs, worst case suicide, that kind of stuff. And it's really apparent in like other sports. Like, I watch a ton of MMA, and it's just sad, when you see people who have retired and then come back at 40 something years old, because simply they cannot, they have identified themselves completely with being a fighter, or being a boxer, or that kind of stuff, or being a soccer player, whatever it is. And you're just a human who has done this. You're not this thing. So let me know what you think about this.